So if you're like millions of Americans right now, within the next week or so, you're about to get a third stimulus check. Some people already have pending amounts that are going to hit their bank accounts in the next few days. But before you decide what to do with it, I want to give you 4 quick but potentially life-changing ideas that you may or you may not have thought about before. So stick around for number 4, because in my opinion, that one can be the most life-changing and rewarding of all of them. Hey, I'm Adam Simon. Welcome to Responding to the Call, where every week I help you go deeper in your faith, family, and finances. And if you're new here, you get value out of this video in any way, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you never miss a new video. All right, let's jump into it. So on Thursday, March 11, 2021, President Joe Biden signed a $1.9 trillion stimulus package called the American Rescue Plan. And regardless of what we think about it, regardless of whether Americans need it or not, that money is coming. And if for some reason you haven't heard about the details of this yet, this round of stimulus checks is giving every household member, including kids, regardless of age, $1,400. That means if you have a family of 4, you can expect a check, compliments of the federal government, and of course, your future tax dollars for $5,600 sometime in the very near future. That's obviously for a family of 4, so adjust based on your situation. And so for people who are single, your adjusted gross income needs to be $75,000 or less. And if you're married, it has to be $150,000 or less. So obviously, millions of Americans, maybe hundreds of millions of Americans, will qualify for this round of checks. But before we decide what we're going to do with it, every single one of us has one single question to answer. Is this money you need, or is this discretionary money? Can you pay your bills and your mortgage without it, or can't you? That's the first thing we need to figure out and decide, because it has everything to do with what you do next. And once you figure that out, there's really only 4 options that you and I have when it comes to spending this third stimulus check. Number 1, and probably the most obvious, is that you can spend it. Now, like I said, some people need it and some people don't, but either way, the money's coming. And after the year that it's been, there's some people who can really use the help that this check can bring. For some people, that can mean a mortgage payment for some families. That could mean rent or keeping the lights on or food on the table. Maybe paying off some debt. That's massive right now. So if you need it, use it. For other people, this is going to be discretionary money, meaning they don't necessarily need it to pay bills or to get ahead, but they're going to get it anyway. And if that's you and you want to spend it, right? Go ahead and stimulate the economy. You've been cooped up for an entire year, so go on vacation, right? Take your family out to eat. Take them out to eat lots of times, and when you do, tip big. Be generous with it. These servers in these restaurants have been so hard lately, so let's be generous. So by all means, it's your right to spend it, so spend it. The second thing we can do with it is save it. And there's a couple ways to do this. One of the most fundamental basics of any financial plan is they have some sort of emergency fund, right? Some sort of short-term savings for unforeseen circumstances, like maybe a layoff or a new roof or a furnace that breaks or just massive car repairs. And depending on who you read, most people say you need 1 to 3 months of income saved up as an emergency fund. That would be a pretty good start. Now, this stimulus might not get you fully set up with your emergency fund, but if you've never started one or you've never had one before, this is a phenomenal way to start it without your own money. Another great way to use this money as savings, especially if you have kids, is to start college education savings accounts for them. This is exactly what Renee and I did with our second stimulus check. We took the $600 that we got for each of our 4 kids and we put it into college savings plans. Now, this is obviously not going to pay for their whole college education or even a major part of it, but that wasn't the point. The point was just to start, right? If you haven't started one, the point is just to get something started for your kids the way that you've always wanted to. So if you haven't started, why not use the federal government's money to do it? Let them pay for some of your kids' college. And once you commit to that, I can't tell you how good it feels. The third thing we can do with the stimulus check is to invest it. Now, you obviously want to talk to your financial advisor or someone in your life who's versed on this stuff, but this is just another way to let your money or money that wasn't given to you work and grow for you over time. So maybe you've always wanted to start an IRA or invest in Bitcoin that's huge right now, or just start some sort of this retirement account, but you've always put it on the back burner for more important things. This is your chance to do that. So think about this. If you put $5,000 into a mutual fund or an investment account that averages 8% conservatively over the span of 20 years, that $5,000 would be worth almost $25,000 at the end of 20 years. If it made 10%, it'd be worth $36,000. Now, that's not bad for money that someone else gave you, right? The point is, get this money working for you. And the last thing we can do with this stimulus money is to be generous with it, right? To give it, to help someone else with, because there's no greater reward than being a blessing to someone else and to making this world a better place. So maybe you need this money, maybe you don't, but either way, we all know somebody who could really, really use it. Maybe instead of spending it on us, we can bless them with some of it. And there's 1,000 ways to do that. So maybe it's just paying a bill for someone, or buying them food, or filling up their gas tank. Maybe it's giving somebody a much needed night out after the year that it's been, or just giving them a gift that that they'd never buy for themselves. So I would dare you to try this, because you never know how much a little can go a long way. Other options are to maybe give to your favorite charity. Maybe your love and your heart, close to your heart, is to fight human trafficking. Maybe it's helping the homeless, or partnering with your local church. But the possibilities to give generously here with this money are endless. And this one is my favorite, right? Because in being a blessing to others, you actually become a blessing and receive a blessing yourself. I mean, there is actual evidence that helping somebody else reduces stress, it lifts your mood, and it gives you this overall feeling of satisfaction that nothing else on this planet can give you. So if you can, be a funnel for generosity, because the world desperately needs it right now. So those are really the 4 main ways that we can use our stimulus check in the upcoming days and weeks. And one other idea is just do a combination of all of them, right? So spend some of it, save some of it, invest some of it, and then give some of it away. That's really the best of all worlds. So I'm really curious, what are you planning on doing with your stimulus check? Were any of these ideas new or helpful, or something you haven't thought about before? Just, if so, if you got value out of it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're planning on doing with your check. So feel free to add ideas if there was something I didn't mention, or you might have a better idea that someone else needs. So, and by the way, if you don't know where your check is, or you want to know where it is, you can use, it's called the IRS Get My Payment tool. I'll link to it in the description below. So just want to say thanks for watching. I pray this was helpful for you. I will see you next time. And until then, keep seeking Christ first in your life.